everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to the bookstore. And I don't know if this is necessarily a good option. We are definitely tempting fate here because I went to the bookstore last week, a little over a week ago, and bought way too many things. Like, my book haul this last month was more than I really wanted to. I like the things that I bought, and I'm very much getting into reading them. Like, most of it was manga, and I've read a couple already, but we're going to the bookstore. We are specifically going to Bookman's in Phoenix. This is a local chain that they have around Arizona that is secondhand. So they do sometimes have some newer things, but mostly they have secondhand books, secondhand DVDs, secondhand musical instruments and board games and video games, and it's a huge thing. But we're going to offload some of my unhaul, not from this last time, but from before. I do have a Depop store that I try and sell books to get a little bit of money back to buy more books, basically. But some of these things haven't been moving, and I completely understand. So it's been just taking up space. I want to get rid of them. So what we're going to do is go to Bookman's, which, like I said, is a secondhand store, and see if we can get some store credit for some of them. Anything that doesn't sell at Bookman's, it's either going to be donated to my sister's school, if it's a young adult or middle grade type of book, or Goodwill, probably. So that's the plan today. I'm not planning on buying any books, but part of going to Bookman's is giving them all of your stuff to appraise and see what they can actually use in the store and see how much credit you get. And it usually takes at least half an hour to do that, so we have to then walk around the bookstore and look at all the books while we're there. So yeah, that's why I'm saying we're tempting fate today, but we're packing up the kids and we're gonna go to the bookstore. good this light is going to be because it looks like it's getting really, really cloudy outside. It might rain, we'll see, but also it's almost 6 p.m. because by the time we got done with Bookman's, and it took longer than half hour, which I'm not complaining, but it definitely took longer than I thought. We then eventually went to the grocery store and like picked up some lunch to bring home, and then we were cleaning up house and Elliot fell asleep on me, and so yeah, I was trapped until like 20 minutes ago or so. So we're here because I bought some books. So I do think I did really, really well for what I was planning on. Like, I wasn't planning on buying books, but I told myself as long as I kept it under 10 books, I think that would be good. We took 2 big old totes of books and some like action figure type of things, collectibles that are not necessarily my fandom, to Bookman's. And Bookman's has this sort of system where you can either get store credit or cash, and obviously store credit gives you a ton more money than cash. However, I still had store credit from a couple years ago when I took books in, so they offered me like almost $500 in store credit or almost $200 in cash. This time I took the cash, although if I have to do this again next time with some of the books I'm currently like unhauling and that kind of stuff, I might take the store credit, because the books I bought this time brought my store credit down to still like $19, but like much less than it was. So, like I said, I kept under my whole like, as long as I'm under 10 books, I'm good, and I bought 6. So, I don't think I did too bad. The first book that I bought was No Longer Human by Junji Ito. This is actually a new book. It was not a used book because, like I said before, they do sometimes have new books. And because I had store credit, basically got it for free. So I definitely had to get this. It is full price because it is new, but it's the only Junji Ito I don't have. It's super, super thick, so I actually don't know if I'm going to get to it this October, but I definitely had to have it. While I was in the manga section, I also picked up Tsubasa by Clamps. This is volume 2 and volume 3. I read the first volume of Tsubasa and XXX Holic the end of last year. I have seen the anime of XXX Holic before and knew I liked it, but I also did know that these series interconnect. And it was very interesting to read it that way, and I definitely want to continue. They did not have any volumes of XXX Holic there, but I did pick up, obviously, the next 2 volumes of Tsubasa. Then I picked up Grimspace by Anne Aguirre. This is the first book in a sci-fi series by this author. This is the author of like Strangelove and stuff like that. This is traditionally published, although Strangelove is indie, so this author does go back and forth that way. And I believe it's sci-fi, potentially some romance in it, because I know she does write stuff with romance in it. And it says her next jump may be her last. I don't remember much about it except for I've had it on my want to read list on Goodreads for a while. Like, I definitely want to get to it. As the carrier of a rare gene, Jax has the ability to jump ships through Grimspace, a talent that cuts into her life expectancy but makes her a highly prized navigator for the Corps. But then the ship she's navigating crash lands and she's accused of killing everyone on board. It's hard for Jax to defend herself. She has no memory of the crash. Yeah, I need to read this. I also picked up the Monstrumologist by Rick Yancey. This is another book that has been on my want to read list on Goodreads for forever. This was in the horror section. I don't know if I knew it was actually horror or not, but it is about like somebody who studies monsters. Will Henry is the orphan apprentice of a doctor with an unusual specialty, monstrumology, the study of monsters. Will has seen many things that would shock grown men and has experienced horrors that most would believe mere nightmares. But when a midnight visitor brings them the body of a young girl entwined with the corpse of an anthropophagus, it is the start of the most terrifying case of Will Henry's life. And then the last one I'm actually really proud of. I already read this book. I just only read an ebook copy and didn't have a physical copy, but I got Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. This is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series. Did I read this year or last year? I don't fully remember, but I do own the first 2 in hardcover, and I read the 3rd one on ebook, and I know for a fact I want to have these all on my shelf in hardcover because all of the first 3 books that I've read, I gave 4.5 or 5 stars. Like I gave this one 5 stars. So I got this one. It's in really, really nice condition and I've already read it, so it doesn't count toward my TBR. And that is going to be it because it is now time to do dinner. I hope you guys had fun coming with me because we were busy this weekend a lot and I knew I needed to film something and I haven't filmed a like come to the bookstore with me in a while. I did end up buying things that I wasn't entirely sure I was going to, but I'm not mad at like what I found. So yeah, that is going to be it. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out on Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!